rude. Sorry. Let me tell you, it's very, very, very beneficial to have someone that can put you back in line when you start to stray. And in itself, is like a backup focus, if I can say.
You know, listening to what you're saying, right? And I thank you for those words. But it's such a encapsulating conversation, because if you ask yourself what is sobriety, right? Sobriety does not mean only abstinence. Sobriety means to actively choose to live without the influence of drugs and alcohol to pursue a healthier life and a healthier lifestyle. Now, if a person who, as you mentioned, you remember where you've come from and what's brought you here. If a person forgets where they've come from, if a person now automatically starts to think, and this is human nature, unfortunately, when a person starts to think that, listen, I'm clean now for some people 6 months, some people 1 year, 10 years, whatever it is. I'm clean for such a long time. I don't need to attend programs, or I don't need to worry about this. Or my life needs to move on. I need to find a better job or a job. I need to get married, whatever, and the conversations in their head start to play out. What happens is the person then starts to put, or the recovery then starts to put recovery as a secondary option and not a primary option. And what happens is they fail to realize that if you make recovery a secondary option and not a primary option, then everything else that you do is at risk because of your recovery not being stable. And the thing is, we know this in Rauf. I mean, one of the things we teach the guys is that if you have a negative thought, right, it takes you 3 seconds to kill that, or you need to take 3 seconds to kill that thought. If you can do it faster, by all means do it, but generally 3 seconds is the time that you have to kill that thought. The longer you leave it, it'll start to fester and
Manifest.
grow
Yeah.
into your mind. So essentially, what that means is every recovering drug addict is potentially 4 seconds away from a relapse. If you're looking at 3 seconds being the threshold, right? Now, when a person or when the families, this is also for the caregivers as well, because what happens is you'll find caregivers, being their parents, spouses, siblings, children, whoever they may be, also sometimes have this thought in their head that, listen, you're clean now for so many years, you can stop attending program, right? Or you're doing well now, you're working, the business is flourishing, your children are growing up nicely, all of those good things are taking place, you can now stop program. What they don't realize is that the only reason those things are in the place that they are and they're doing as well as they are is because recovery was put first. The minute you sidestep recovery, or the minute you park recovery to the side, everything else is now problematic, or can be potentially problematic. Now, back to the topic with regards of maintaining focus, right? So, I just picked up a few things which could potentially cause a lapse in focus. So, there are many external factors. There's also very many internal factors, but we'll talk about that later. But the external factors include, and not necessarily limited to, things like stress, work overload, family obligations, boredom, peer pressure, health issues, financial worries, lack of support, depression or anxiety, or loneliness. Now, it could also, what's not on this list is also, as you mentioned, Muksin, with regards to change of lifestyle, from a son, student, to, working, then to married. So your role has changed in the last 3 years, your role has changed 3 times. Now, those changes in roles actually bring about their own stresses, and those stresses could also definitely bring about a change in focus. Because when you're studying, your focus is to pass. When you're working, or you're looking for a job, your focus is to find a job and do well in your job. And then when you start to, when you get married, your focus becomes your spouse. So if you lose focus on those things, right, then your spouse will start to feel as if you're no longer caring, or your job is starting to get neglected, whatever the case may be. But then it's important, once again, I want the caregivers to pay attention here. If the caregivers feel that the recovery isn't giving them enough time because they're putting more effort into recovery, accept that. Understand why they are doing that. Because without the recovery, putting recovery first, there is no family, there is no work, there is no money, there's nothing. So, brother Arshad, tell us a bit about yourself, and also focus. How was it maintained in your 20 plus years of recovery?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, I would say, Alhamdulillah, I managed to how can I put it? I managed to build the skill of being focused in such a way that it was built with Rauf and my parents hand in hand, keeping pressure on me, right? And that took them about 4 years to get me on a straight path. And in the interim, with following the other programs, with all the pressures of getting discharged and thinking I need to work. Now, that's where, after I got discharged, that's where the first thing took my focus off recovery, where I came up with the idea of I need to work. And then we're like, no, you don't need to work. So I'm like, but I'm big enough now, I'm old enough, I'm stable enough. No, you don't need to work. So I sat and introspected. That was the response. The very first response I got when I put that thing out is, I need to work. No, you don't need to work. Fine. So I sat and I looked at why I don't need to work. I don't need to work is because I wanted to work. I wanted to work because I wanted some freedom. I wanted some freedom because I was still using manipulative tactics on trying to get what I want to get. So that's where I sat and thought about this, and I'm talking about 23, 24 years ago, where I sat in a program called Needs and Wants. And that program only played out 4 or 5 years later. And that's where that program kicked in. That I sat, and everything I heard in that program, I implied it, or I focused all that knowledge onto a simple thing. Fresh recovery, a lot of things that I thought I needed to do is actually what I wanted to do. Now, the reasons why I wanted to do it wasn't to be focused on recovery, but more so I can get busy with other things and then eventually find a way not to attend the program, or not to attend a role function, or not to do something.
It's a distraction, essentially.
It's a distraction. I use the distraction as a need instead of something that I wanted to do. And then from there, what I did was I looked at my life as a whole. So, as you know, as Brother Musin said, you need to hit that reset button and regress, not physically, mentally and emotionally. You regress to the very beginning of recovery and what was said to you and what you understood from certain things. And that's where I looked at myself as an active addict. Now, when I wanted to get that hit, what stopped me from getting that hit? Nothing. That's how focused I was on achieving my goal of getting high. There's absolutely nothing that stopped me. So if I could do that then, what's stopping me now from achieving sobriety? Right? That was the first question that was highlighted in me. And then I looked at the lens I went to achieve getting high, finding the drug, getting high, having a good time. And likewise, if I could do it then, what's stopping me from doing that for sobriety? And I came to a point I would say mentally, because all of this happening internal, I came to a point where I made a decision, hell or high water. Recovery is first, every other thing is second. Now, if you're looking at time frame, by that time, I felt I was ready to get married. So that was put out. Okay, spiritual guide said, no, get to know the person, this, that, everything. Okay, fine. That one didn't work out. I backed off for a little while. Then I found somebody who I was really happy with and who understood me. And at our proposal, I made it clear to the girl and her family, there is nothing more important to me than my recovery. If you all accept everything, understand this point. My main focus is my recovery first. Everything else secondary. And as years went by, I broke it down to them and made them understand as to why I made that kind of statement. Because I understood if I wasn't focused on recovery, I won't be able to work. If I wasn't focused on recovery, I won't be able to provide for somebody else. If I wasn't focused on recovery, I won't be able to do any other thing.
You know, listening to Maaf to cut you off, Brother Arshad, we continue after our ad break. But, you know, it just goes to show how much of a priority recovery needs to be in your life. More important than almost everything else. Otherwise, nothing else really matters, actually. We're going to stop for a quick ad break. And inshallah, when we get back, we'll continue the discussion with regards to maintaining focus in recovery.
Audio stream across the world on radioalansar.co.za.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sumaya Khan of School Matters. As we observe the holy month of Ramadan, let us come together to extend our support and kindness to those in need, particularly the underprivileged communities. Well, this year, our focus is on providing dignity to the Ma'alimas and little ones in the underlying areas. We kindly request your assistance in donating gently used cloaks, kurtas, and scarves. Your generous contributions will make a significant impact on the lives of those who are less fortunate, helping them experience the essence of Ramadan with warmth and dignity. Please drop off your donations at Al Ansar Foundation at 207 West Road.
This Ramadan, join the Al Imdad Foundation as we spread the winds of generosity in 40 countries across the globe. Sponsor a food hamper for 800 Rand and ensure a fasting family has food to break their fast. Donate your zakat or lila and ease the pangs of hunger experienced by thousands of widows, orphans and destitute Muslims globally. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
This dua is brought to you by Phoenix Cash and Carry for wholesale and retail of groceries, hardware, cosmetics, and general merchandise.
Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilayh.
When the month of Ramadan arrives, the doors of mercy are opened. Sahih Muslim. From our home to yours, Simplex Radio wishes you, the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a blessed Ramadan. May peace fill your hearts and homes. May your du'as and fasting be accepted, and may Allah shower His blessings on you and your loved ones. Ameen. Simplex Radio, the name you can trust.
Phoenix Cash and Carry for wholesale and retail of groceries, hardware, cosmetics, and general merchandise, with branches in Phoenix, Pietermaritzburg, Impangeni, and also in Prospecton. Assist in uplifting your community this Ramadan by purchasing your zakah and lila hampers from us, secure in the knowledge that your zakah is benefiting the eligible. For more information, call 031 500 6160. Phoenix Cash and Carry, your reliable wholesaler and retailer. Delivery service throughout KZN. T's and C's apply.
Plan your dream holiday with the specialist, World of Travel, as we pride ourselves in offering you the best in Hajj and Umrah. We also offer travel packages to the Middle East, Far East, and many more exotic destinations. Call our professional travel consultants now on 031 20 888 or view our website www.worldoftravel.co.za. Visit us at 44 Crescent Street as memorable journeys begin with World of Travel by Irshad Malik.
Looking for an easy dinner? Checkers Foods Kawi Park has you sorted. Get a whole grilled chicken, 6 white hot dog rolls, and a 2-liter Spa-Letta cold drink for just 110 Rand. Deals valid until April 7th only at Checkers Foods Kawi Park, butchery, bakery, and deli certified by the NIHT.
This Ramadan, recite a few verses of the Quran and stand a chance to win a gold Kruger coin worth 23,000 Rand. WhatsApp 072 991 3154. Open to all ages, both males and females. Record a few Quranic verses in your voice and win a gold coin worth 23,000 Rand. WhatsApp 072 991 3154. That's 072 991 3154. This Kruger Rand could be yours this Ramadan.
This Ramadan, join the Al Imdad Foundation as we spread the winds of generosity in 40 countries across the globe. Sponsor a food hamper for 800 Rand and ensure a fasting family has food to break their fast. Donate your zakat or lillah and ease the pangs of hunger experienced by thousands of widows, orphans, and destitute Muslims globally. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
This Ramadan, let's continue with compassion. Join me, Aisha Jamal, in our wheelchair drive, where every donation makes a world of difference. Hundreds of elders, kids, and deserving individuals rely on wheelchairs daily. Let's change lives together. Our goal, 300 wheelchairs to aid the disabled. Your support can bring mobility, independence, and smiles. Be a part of this noble cause. Call Outreach now on 031 208 1601 for more information. Let's ensure that no one is left behind. Able the Disabled campaign with Yedul Ansar and Outreach.
Radio Al Ansar, 24/7, 365.
Do you know someone with a drug problem? Join me, Ibrahim Dawood, every Sunday 1 to 2 p.m. on our fight against drug abuse, where we will discuss the scourge of substance abuse in our communities and listen to the hard-hitting points from real-life experiences and true motivators.
It's happening more and more each day. These drugs making my friends crazy. I'm laying it down.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Raufs Show. You're listening to Mukhtar. And in studio today, I'm joined by Brother Muhsin as well as Brother Arshad. And if anybody has any questions, queries, comments, you can WhatsApp us on 060 904 1056. Let me repeat, 060 904 1056. So the topic that we're discussing today is maintaining focus whilst in recovery. And Brother Muhsin as well as Brother Arshad gave us a bit about their stories. And Brother Arshad was actually still speaking before we stopped for the ad break. So Brother Arshad, I don't know if you want to continue your story before we go further, okay? Exactly.
Okay, so just fast forward it a little bit. The next point in my recovery where I didn't lose focus, but the idea of me not being able to focus on myself is when my wife was pregnant and it's time for the baby to be delivered. Now it's also a next, it's a new step in my life. It's a complete new ball game. I don't know what to expect, even though I've spent prior 9 months brainstorming and prepping myself and doing everything I could do mentally, emotionally, and physically to welcome this new step in life. And we were in the hospital, and then doctors told me, okay, they need to take her into theater, but first they're going to give her the medication, whatever, prep her, all of that is going to take 12 hours. And then